Leaving Afghanistan doesn't mean Afghanistan leaves them. Soldiers who served, like Stuart Pearson.
Not really.
And families who waited back home, like Bob and Jem Wright, the parents of Mark.
I used to say, well, if you go out and there's any trouble, hide behind the biggest tree. He went, I'm in Afghanistan, Mum. There's no any big trees.
We've got a man down!
Mark and Stuart's horrific story has been graphically depicted on the big screen.
Moving impossible due to location being minefield.
With colleagues, the two friends became trapped in a minefield after going in to help a fellow soldier who'd stood on a mine. Of 4 explosions, the second took off Stuart's left leg.
I took my foot off a rock, my left foot, and put it on the ground, and that's when I heard the explosion. I get blown up slightly and twisted round.
The soldiers had called for a helicopter with a winch to lift out casualties in relative safety, but they were told none was available. The downdraft from a landing Chinook set off another mine.
Unfortunately, Mark, who was straddling over me, protecting me from the downblast of the helicopter, he got blasted by that, injuries to his face, neck and upper body.
Mark Wright survived the first explosion that caught him. He was badly injured, but continued to communicate on the radio and with critically injured colleagues.
I remember just lying there thinking, I don't know if I can hold on for another hour here. But Mark wasn't. I was wanting to fall asleep, but Mark wouldn't let anyone fall asleep. He was shouting at us.
After 4 hours, US Black Hawk helicopters arrived at the site near Afghanistan's Kajaki Dam and winched the casualties to safety. 4 mines had injured 8 soldiers. Mark Wright was hit twice.
As Mark was getting winched up by the Black Hawks, he then shouted down, "Tell Jolene and my family that I love them."
Every night when he was wee before he went to sleep, I always said, I love you. I always thought if I'm dead in the morning, that was the last words he heard. And I mean, when he used to phone, he always says, bye, I love you.
I thought, oh, God, thank Christ, that's over. Then I looked beside me and Mark was lying there, and I looked again and paramedics were rolling on top of him, giving him CPR. And then I looked again at him and he was gone.
Just took the breath away. I just thought, that's our life over.
At the inquest into Mark Wright's death, the coroner called him an exceptional soldier whose death was down to a series of failures. A lack of appropriate UK helicopters with a winch, the downdraft from the Chinook, and the delay in sending an appropriate helicopter.
I'd say a lot of these decisions are just made by people with suits in Whitehall that have never fought a battle at all, taken one day and fought an enemy. So, quite disgusted by it. Yeah.
Why did they go there in the first place? Everywhere they go, they never seem to finish a job, and that's them pulling out. What about these lives that were lost? It's sad.
James Matthews, Sky News, Dalkeith.